Okay, I need to see you joining so I can make you your co-host. What are these calls all about? What are they calling about? Oh. I'll go ahead and start admitting them. Hi, Yvonne.
That sounds awesome. Okay, it's your turn. Where did you just go?
Nothing for you to worry about.
Usually Dad's at the center or whatever's upsetting.
Hello, Gloria.
Hi, Miss Teresa.
I knew exactly.
Happy
Hello. And
Married
who
you.
do we have? Anne on board. We have Yvonne.
And I adore him. Everything we've been through together. But there has been another entity in our marriage.
Human Enterprises.
It's not just a company. It is part of us. It's part of you, even though you chose another path. And it takes up so much space in his head and in his heart.
Hello, Teresa.
Hello, Deborah. Could you do me a favor, Deborah? We need to get your invoice in for your thing. So do you have a method of creating an invoice, or do you need help with doing so?
Yes, Isaiah was trying to send me something, but I just checked my email and I don't see it. I gave him an alternate email, so I'm going to check that and see if it came that way. And if not, I'll let you know before the session is over.
I
Okay.
haven't said anything yet, so you don't have to check it.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Isaiah, because I was looking for it.
Yes, Lou asked about it this morning, and I told him I'll get it to him,
No
as soon as
problem.
possible.
No
Okay.
problem.
All right. While we're waiting, oh, it's already 03. Okay. While we're waiting on the rest of us to come on, is there anybody with the feel of public speaking? Anybody that's good at public speaking?
What is your purpose? What are you trying to?
I'd like to present a session on public speaking. So we're looking to hire somebody for that session. So I thought I'd start with the seniors first, and if that's not the case, then I'll bring in an outsider.
Well, I'll give someone else a chance to volunteer, and if all else fails, again, I can always draft up something to share with the community. So just let me
Right.
know, Teresa, if you have any.
Okay.
I wanted to give someone else a chance to participate. We got
Right.
such a variety of seniors that someone else
Yes.
brings that skill set.
Right. And so we don't know what we have, but that person would be paid $100 for doing that session. If they're
No
interested.
problem. Just like I
If-
said, I'm in the wings if you can't get a volunteer.
Okay. So we're got quite a few in. So today, as requested, we're going to look at Safari a little in-depthly. We looked at it before, but I'm going in a little deeper and drilling down some more into it. And then we will see what more knowledge you can gain from using your browser on your iPad. As you know, your iPad came with Safari already installed on it. It's an Apple web server. And I know I sold some of you last week on Chrome, because Chrome is my favorite of the servers. But Safari is what comes with your. That doesn't mean you can't have Chrome on it. Just means you have to download Chrome. But if you want to stick with what you have, then we'll get you really trained up on it, so you can have a better understanding of your browser and know all the benefits of it. For those of you who won prizes, we're currently working on getting those out to you this week from Amazon. And moving forward with so at the end of March, we'll do some more prizes on the highest attended session. And I for some reason, I think I'm going to have ties there, but we'll continue to give out prizes anyway, even when they're ties. The goal is to get you all on board. All right, so today we're looking at Safari, the browser that came in already installed on your iPad. So let's move into that. So getting on the internet, of course, with an iPad is easy by using its Wi-Fi or cellular capabilities. And you have the option. With your iPad, you have what is called broadband internet that is free, comes with your iPad. So far, DACO has been picking up the cost of that. Last year, when the program began, we looked at it. They were saying, DACO was saying they're going to cover that broadband up until June of this year. But DACO may very well continue it beyond June. And in that case, then you have nothing to worry about. And if they don't, you still have access to using Wi-Fi through the DC income Wi-Fi, where you actually, based on your income, you can get wireless services based on your income. And I'm sure on a senior's income, many of you are qualified for that. I know people who right now who get all of their Wi-Fi, their services paid for by the program that's supplemented through the DC, giving those access to technology. So don't worry about that. I'm sure we're going to be getting good news on whether or not they're going to continue paying for that subscription for you. All right, so let's look at take a good look at Safari. It is your ticket to the wild world of information, entertainment, education, and more. So if you look at the image where I have all these red arrows, you've got, starting from the left, 2 arrows there, one saying, meaning you can go back to the previous web page that you were on, or an arrow going in the other direction saying you can move to the one that you've moved forward to, one that perhaps you already have opened on your iPad. Notice there's something that looks like a book there with pages. That's your bookmarker. Then on the center is where your search and navigation bar exists, where you type in whatever website it is that your goal, what is it you're trying to do while you're online. And that little semicircle looking thing is if you feel that you're online and something, your iPad froze up, or you're not getting the results, it's not moving as fast as you'd like it to move, you simply click on that semicircle. It's called reloading, where you're reloading the web page that you're currently on. And it works. And I've had to use it on many instances, so I highly recommend that. And then you have the other, next to that, to the right, we have the action menu, where you have the square and an arrow pointing out on it. We'll look into what that is later on. What's the purpose of that? And then you have the plus sign. When you want to open a new tab, you just select the plus sign. And then to the very end, we have where you have, one square basically on top of another square. These are where all your tabs that you have currently on your right, these are tabs you have open already. You just need to tap on them and all your tabs that will show up. Some people may have 1, 2, 3. I know when I tapped on mine, I had like at least 20 tabs opened. So it all depends if you close those tabs when you're finished viewing the web page that you were looking at. And then of course, then there's the private browsing tab. And further though, where there's no arrow, the settings, a little thing that looks like a wheel, that's where you, if you want to go into settings, you can. But we're not going to go into settings today. We're going to look at just what this browser looks like and move into our, let's go to our next slide. So going online with your iPad, you can navigate among web pages, using cloud tabs to share your browsing experience between devices. Along the way, you will see how to place bookmarks for favorite sites. We'll look at that. Place a web clip on your home screen, view your browser's history, save online images onto your photo library, post photos to sites from within Safari, and use private browsing, meaning you don't want any history left of that recent browsing that you did. Okay, so you can, I'm going to repeat myself here, you can again connect to the internet via Wi-Fi network or the broadband, which is what you've been using. You can set this type of network on your home from using your home computer and some equipment from your internet provider. If some of you already have your own personal internet provider that you use, And you can also connect over what is known as a public Wi-Fi network, referred to as hotspots. I would say stay away from those if you can, because just like it states public, anybody can basically break into your system on a public Wi-Fi network. All right, so let's talk about what you actually have on that iPad. You have something that gives you access to be online. You have what is known as a broadband internet. Again, DACL pays for that. However, let's say DACL wasn't paying for it and you had an iPad and you needed and you wanted to have access to the internet. You have well, DACL actually, the one that we have on the iPad is AT&T. If you were to go into settings, you'll see that AT&T is your provider. Well, Sprint no longer exists, so I need to take that out. That is T-Mobile, there's Verizon, and then there are some other popular cellular providers that can connect you to just anywhere you would like to have coverage through a cellular network. All right, so I'm not going to go through all these steps as how do you connect to it, because the fact that you're on, you can see me on Zoom says you are connected to the internet. So we're not going to go through those steps. Let's talk about what is a free public Wi-Fi network. Usually don't require passwords, or the password is posted prominently for all to see. Meaning you could be in a McDonald's, you can be in Starbucks, you can be in the airport. Most train stations, like Union Station, you'll be able to access what is known as a free public Wi-Fi network. It's free. It's just to do basic generic stuff. It is not to be used for when you want any degree of privacy. It is just not to be used for that. Okay. So this is basically telling you the steps if you wanted to. If you happen to be in Starbucks and you didn't want to, you can just tap the join button when prompt. Once done, you connect your iPad, will show you and recognize the network and connect without repeatedly entering the password. So it's there. I would highly recommend not to use it. Even when I stay at hotels, I don't use their network. I try to keep to my own. So we'll talk about the dangers of why not to use a public Wi-Fi. Someone else could possibly track your online activities because these are on secure networks. Avoid accessing financial accounts, making online purchases, or sending emails with sensitive information in them when connected to a public hotspot. All right, so now we're going to look at really what is Safari and what it can do for you. So Safari will become your new best friend, which is probably you're already using it that way when it comes to surfing the World Wide Web. So it is a good idea to learn what it offers as a web surfing tool. And that's where we are going. One, after you've connected to the network, you can tap on Safari and on the done at the button of the home screen, and Safari will open up. You can see you find Safari there. I have it highlighted in that image in yellow. That's your Safari icon. And it is displaying the Apple iPad homepage the first time you go online. All right. While you're there, if you wanted to zoom in, you can put two fingers together on the screen and spread them apart to expand the view. That's known as zooming in. Place your fingers on the screen about an inch or so apart and quickly bring them together to zoom back. So if you want to zoom in, you can zoom out. Also, you can also double tap the screen with a single finger to restore the default view size. So you finish zooming, but you can't remember how you want to go back to what you had previously. You can just double tap and it will go default back to what you've had previously. Scroll up. So using your fingers on the screen, you can enlarge or reduce the size of a web page. It just allows you to view what's displayed at various sizes, giving you more flexibility than double tap method. And 3, you can put your fingers on the screen and flick upward to scroll down on a page. So see those hands, look at those arrows. That's how you scroll upwards. Return to the top of the page. Put your finger on the screen and drag downward or tap the status bar at the very top of the screen twice. Okay, so here's a tip. When you zoom in, you have more control by using 2 fingers to drag from left to right or from top to bottom on the screen. When you zoom out, 1 finger works fine for making these gestures. So 2 fingers to drag from left to right or top to bottom. When you zoom out, 1 finger works better. All right, navigating among web pages. Web pages are chock full of information and getaways to other web resources. To navigate the landscape or web page in Safari, they're saying tap the address field just under the status bar, and we'll look at what that status bar is, and the on-screen keyboard. So when I'm here helping someone with issues on their iPad, I would say, they say, well, I'm not seeing my keyboard. Well, in order for your keyboard to surface, it's called the on-screen keyboard, you have to tap into that little window at the top, and I'll show you where that window is. Once you tap in with 1 tap, the screen will pop up. The keyboard will pop up, sorry. So I think many of you by now know how to enter into that navigation bar at the very top window, what web page you're looking, you're hoping you desire to access. In this case, I'm showing www.dummies.com. So you enter the web address. For example, you can go to the www.dummies.com and bang, you're at that web page. All right, remember we saw this kind of semicircle earlier, and I said we'll talk about it some more. So if you want to, let's say your web page is, you're there and nothing is happening, you tap on it, nothing is not, it's in other words, it is in static mode and you don't know what happened to it. Simply go up to that, where that arrow is, where I'm pointing to that looking circle, not quite a circle with the arrow, and just tap on that a couple times and refresh your web page, and you'll see activity. It'll become dynamic again. So that's what that's what that half circle, well, not quite a half circle, 3/4 of a circle does for you. So if you change your mind about viewing you're on a web page and, oh, wow, I really don't want to go to that web page. If Safari is loading a web page and you change your mind about viewing the page, you can stop loading the page. You simply tap cancel, and it's an X, and I'll show you where that X is in a little while, which appears at the right end of the address field during this process to stop the loading, okay, of the page that you were on your way and you change your mind. And that happens. I mean, I might decide to go to a website and I said, oh no, I don't want that website. So all I simply do is tap on that X to the far left of my address bar and it will stop loading. Okay, again, we look at that previous button, see those arrows there, and I have them in a little square red box there. Those two arrows, one is called the previous button, where you can go back to the web page where you were previously. Okay, the last page that was displayed before the one you're on. And then if you wanted to move forward, you can tap the next. Let's say you go back and they say, I want to go back to that page where you can use that. You can say, you can tap the next button that looks that arrow going in the opposite direction in the upper left-hand corner, and you'll be able to move forward to the page you just jump back from. All right, so by now I'm confident that many of you know what a link is, but we'll touch on it again. To follow a link, you've been sent a link, or you're in a web page and there's a link there, and you want to. So what is a link? A link, to follow a link, is another web page, access to another page. Links are typically indicated by colored text or graphics. Tap the link with your finger and it will take you to that page that you're hoping that link is tied to. Use tab browsing. Okay, so now we're going to go into this tabbing thing. Tab browsing is a feature that allows you to have several websites open at one time, so you can move easily among those sites. So notice on this page here, you have many, and I usually have that many open on my iPad. Okay, with Safari open and a web page already displaying, all you need, you can tap the show or hide tab button in the upper right-hand corner, as you could see there, where I have that red circle. And you will get a new tab. You don't want to, you don't want any of those tabs that you have there. You can simply hit that up right-hand corner there, and that will give you a whole new tab for if you wanted to access another web page. Here it is. I have a better view of it here. This plus sign will allow you to get a new tab, to add a new page, meaning you're opening a new website. Simply tap the new page button, that plus sign in the upper right hand of the screen, and a new page appears with your favorite or currently open sites and an address bar. And these are the steps. You tap in the address field, use the on-screen keyboard. So to get that on-screen keyboard up to tell the address, to enter the address that you care or desire to access, you tap into that address field and your on-screen keyboard will pop up, and then you can enter the web address that you would like to go to. Here's a tip. You can easily rearrange sites in your tab windows. Just touch and hold the tab you want to move, and then drag it to the right or the left in the list until it's in the spot that you'd like it to be. Or the other sites in the window, politely move them, make room for them. So again, if you want to rearrange the sites, all those different sites, you can just drag them around. If you have like 3 or 4 or 5 and you want to rearrange it, you can do so. All right, adding a new page, another way to add a new page. To delete a tab, in this case here, you need to tap again the show or hide tab buttons, or scroll to locate the tab and then tap the button, the close button in the upper left hand corner of the tab. And it looks, see this X here? That's how you close it. Okay. It may be difficult to see on some sites, but trust me, it's there. So You can always close off with this X. All right, you want to see your browsing history. So as you move around the web, your browser keeps a record of your browsing history. This record can be handy when you want to visit a site that you viewed previously, but whose address you've now forgotten. Well, the history is kept of all those sites. I notice there's a string of them there. You would have to go to the history. See that little bar up there? We've got a bookmarker, then we have an eye, almost like a pair of glasses. And then we have the @ Well, the one to the left in blue, that's where your browsing history is kept. I don't know if you use it, but it's there if you need to look back to see where you browsed that yesterday or last week. All right, so what is the browsing history? Basically, you just tap on bookmark, and we'll look at that in a little while. So after you've mastered the use of the bookmark buttons options, you might prefer a shortcut to view your history. And tap and hold the previous button at the upper left hand on any screen, and your browsing history for the current session appears. Again, tap and hold the previous button. What was the previous button again? Can anybody remember what I said? It was that arrow, right? That's your previous button. There's a tap and hold it, and you'll see a browsing history. Very simple to follow. Tap and hold that arrow that's going in the backward, the previous. All right, so on the menu, by tapping the history tab, this is what will appear. This is what it'll look like. You'll see all these things. Okay, it'll even give you the timing. Look at that, there's a clock there giving you what you did that day or the day before. It actually gives you the time when you browsed. In the history list that appears, you need to tap a site to navigate to it. So if you want to go back to a specific site, you just need to tap on that site once the history appears. That's what it's telling you to do. So if I wanted to go back to how to customize or hide contacts, I simply tap on that and it will take me straight to that web page. All right, here's another tip. To clear the history, you don't want that. Your history is getting overwhelming and you want to get rid of it. This is what you do. You tap the clear button in the bottom of the history, and we'll look and see where that is on the screen that appears. Tap on the options. You can go to the last hour, today, or yesterday, today and yesterday, or all times. You want to get rid of all of that, you would actually tap on that clock thing over there. See where it looks like a clock icon? If you tap on that, it will allow you to clean up your history of all those existing websites you viewed earlier. If you don't know the address of a website that you want to visit, well, that's what Safari has a good search feature, where by default Safari uses what? Google search engine, and many have seen it. Once you get into Safari, you'll see that Google icon. You can go to Google and tap on Google, and your keyboard will come up, and it will allow you to search for whatever it is that you don't remember, your web address. Tip: to change your default search engine from Google to Yahoo, Bing, or DuckDuckGo from the home screen, you can tap settings then tap Safari, and then tap the search engine. So this is a step-by-step process. So if you're not comfortable doing this, you can always call the help desk and we'll help you with that. Again, if you don't want to use Google as your default, you can have Bing as your default. Or you can have DuckDuckGo. And in fact, I think one of our seniors said that if you use DuckDuckGo and you do what is called private browsing, it keeps absolutely zero records of your history there. So DuckDuckGo is good to use. All right. So, but this is what you have as your default right now, Google. All right. So you want to search for something. I do that all the time. I wanted to find out before the session started, how does one get rid of a split screen? And because I've had help desk calls coming, oh, my screen is split in two and I don't know what to do. Well, I went into that address bar in Google and I typed in iPad space 7 undo split screen and all the directions came up. And I'll show you how to do that because I'm sure some of you may have gotten there and panic and not sure what to do. We do get those calls, by the way. So call us if that happens to you. All right. So now you're really loving your iPad. You're using it every day, but now you want to bookmark some of those sites that you enjoy, you go to regularly, so that you don't have to keep typing in the address bar every time for that web page that you want to go to. Well, you can use what is known as a bookmark. With a site open that you want to, so you've gone to your favorite site and you're going to go into that frequently. So you open it up, okay? You tap on the share button in the upper right of the screen. Look where I've got number 2 over there. Okay, first you get that favorite web page up, then you go to that number 2 that I have circled there, and you basically tap on that. The menu will open up as it appears, and you can add that favorite website to your book. You can bookmark it. You may need to swipe up the window to see it. Okay, step 1, first get your favorite site. Step 2, tap on that square with the arrow pointing up and bookmark it. Very simple. Okay, again, add and use. In the add, once you bring that up now, it says in the add bookmark dialog box, enter the name. You can enter the name of the bookmark if you want to. Tap the name of the site and use the on-screen keyboard to edit it. You can name it whatever you care to. Once you've named it, you tap the save button. You've got to save it now in the upper right. Notice where I have the arrow, and the item is saved to your favorite by default. So anytime you want it, you just go to your bookmark, and guess what? You can get that website readily within seconds. Okay, to go to the bookmark, tap the bookmark button. Okay, on the bookmark menu that appears, if you saved a site to a folder, tap to open the folder and then tap the bookmark site you want to visit. So go grab this here that I have in red, and you will be able to access now that book, that website that you saved. Tip: if you want to sync your bookmarks on your iPad browser, you can go to settings on your iPad and make sure that your cloud is set to sync with Safari. That's an extra step, but you may not want to do that but it is possible, you can do it that way too. So there's more than one way to bookmark certain your favorite sites. All right. Now you've been hearing this term, I'm sure you've heard it a few times, private browsing. Apple has provided some privacy settings for Safari that you should consider using. Private browsing automatically stops Safari from using autofill to save information used to complete certain entries as you type, and erases some browsing history information. This feature can keep your online activities more private. Okay, so here are the steps on how you can do it. Tap the show and hide tab, which is up there. This is in the actual Safari browser, where it says private. Tap private, then tap the private button into the upper right-hand corner again and disable. You can disable it as well. Now, you may want to, in fact, Isaiah is the one who showed me this just recently. You may want to organize your bookmarks. Tap, there are the steps. If you need help, call the help desk, where you will have a series of web pages or tabs that you frequently visit, and you want them grouped. You can group them and give it a name. Give that group a name. You tap on that icon there that I have, then tap the bookmarks to create a new folder, or to delete or rename or reorder the bookmarks. Tap edit and tap done to save your changes. Okay. Okay, so here I've got a series of things here. First one I have is, if you want to add a web page to your favorites, here's another way. Open the web page again, tap on that little square with the arrow and add to favorites. Okay. If you want to edit your favorite, because you have a favorite folder, simply tap again on that icon that I'm showing you there, and then tap bookmarks, to tap the favorites, and then edit to delete or rename or rearrange your favorite, meaning you give your favorite names. So you may want to change it or edit it. If you want to quickly see your favorite sites on your reading list, tap on that icon again, open the sidebar, scroll down, then tap bookmarks or reading list. If you want to add a website icon to your iPad home screen, you can add a website icon to your home screen for quick access to that site. Again, open up the website, then tap that square with the arrow, and then say add to home screen. It will actually prompt you for that, and the icon appears only on the device where you add it to. Okay, so now we're going to look of these tabs in Safari. So you've been hearing the tabs. In Safari app, you use tabs to help you navigate between multiple open web pages. So you have all these tabs open, all these open web pages. Well, tabs allows you. If you're using a compact toolbar layout, well, ignore that. I shouldn't have that there. I don't want you to be confused with that. So leave that alone. But if you open a link in a new tab, you need to touch and hold the link. Touch and hold the link, then tap open in background, or tap the link with 2 fingers to automatically switch to the new tab whenever you open a link in a new tab. You can go to settings and then go to Safari and then turn off the open new tabs in the background. So there are many ways to configure these tabs. And again, if you feel overwhelmed about it, just call the help desk. We'll help you in setting up this part on your iPad, but the features are there. You should use them. And if to use them, call the help desk and we'll help you set up those tabs as you should. More reasons to call the help desk. If you want to reopen a recently closed tab, touch the whole button, then choose from the list of the recently closed tabs. I'm just iterating what we covered so far here. All right, so to look through the web pages you already have open, there's another one that you can method that you can use. To close a tab, again, tap on X up in the upper right-hand corner, and then history again, the arrows. To organize those tabs again, I'm repeating what we covered earlier. You can create what is known as a tab group to keep the tabs organized and make it easier to return to later. Okay, so these are the steps. I don't expect you to memorize them, but they're there and you could use them. Call us and we will help you organize your tabs. All right, close your open tabs. This is one we get a lot at the help desk. They've got you've been opening apps for the last 3 months, but you haven't been closing them. Okay, you need to know how to. So we're gonna make sure you do today. Isaiah said that he gets a lot of those calls, so I make sure I emphasize it on this session. How to close an app. 1, from the home screen. You may want to take a picture of this or write it down, whatever it is. Swipe up from the bottom of the screen and pause in the middle of the screen. Swipe up from the bottom. You have a web page, you want it closed. You haven't used it in months, but it's there. It's cluttering up everything. You need to close it. 2, swipe right or left to find the app that you want to close. 3, swipe up on the app's preview to close the app. Here's the one that we get calls on too. But before we even talk about closing the split screens, let's talk about what is a split screen. What is the purpose of it? So it's known as a multitasking button at the top of the screen. Okay, so what is that? You can have 2 windows. You can have 2 windows open at the same time. On one left side of your iPad screen, one web page open. On the other side, you can have another one open. It's called split screens. Tap on the split screen button or the slide on the button. The current app moves to the side and the home screen appears. So this is if you want to use the multitasking button. That's how it's actually defaulted at this right now. Your iPad, when it left us, is defaulted so that you can use it. But what I've been doing, and Isaiah have been doing, is some seniors get a little confused when these split screens show up and they panic. So we've been actually going into settings and say, you know what? If you're not comfortable using split screens, we'll just disable it in settings. And so we've been doing that. Now, this is what we get calls on frequently. How to remove a split screen. Oh my goodness, my screen is divided in 2 parts. I don't know what I did. How can I get rid of it? Well, this is the step. Split screen is enabled by default, as I mentioned earlier, and many people end up with it. For starters, it's good to know that you used it. You have 2 options to stop a split screen on an iPad. You can disable the split screen in the iPad settings, which is what we've been doing for those who call in, or simply close a split screen on your iPad for the app or the apps you're currently using. Okay, so there are 2 ways to undo it. So let's look at it. You can open a split screen view in Safari on an iPad in 3 ways. Okay. Long press when these are the steps you can to open it. Then these are the steps now that if it happens to you and it's open and you want it closed and you don't want to call the help desk, you may want to look at these steps, take pictures of them, or call us if you need help. The easiest way to close a split screen view in Safari browser is through the multitasking button as follows, okay? Hold your iPad in a landscape or portrait mode, meaning either way, because that's where your iPad is, either landscape or landscape is this way, portrait is this way. Tap the multitasking button. Look up where that red arrow is. See those 3 dots? Those are your multitasking buttons. I don't know if you knew it all along, but that's what it is. Tap on that. That's the first thing you do. Next, tap the multitasking button, which is at the top you want to keep. Okay, the one that let's say you found yourself with 2 web pages and say, oh my goodness, I only want to keep the one to the left. I don't want that one to the right. Well, okay, you can keep the one to the left and close off the next one by going to these 3 dots up here where that arrow is. Tap on that's the second thing you do. Click on the full screen mode as shown in here. See where my red arrow is? Click on that full screen mode. Okay, that's your 3rd step. Your 4th, the other tab will close and you'll return to what? Normal view, the screen that you wanted to keep. So you only have the one screen. Very easy step. 3 dots on the one you want to keep. Just click on that. And it will, the other one will close and you'll go back to the normal screen. Okay. Here's another one, method 2. There are actually 3 ways, but I'm only going to do this one and I'm going to cut it off because I don't want to overwhelm you all with too much information. So in a split screen, there are 2 tabs. Again, the browser are divided by 2 bars, as you can see here. You can drag the bar to resize either of the windows and also exit the split screen. To do so, drag the divider bar to either side of the screen. If you wish to retain the tab on the left, drag the bar where? To the right edge of the screen. Or if you want to keep the tab on the right, drag the bar to the left edge on your screen or your iPad. Very simple. But if it still confuses you, call the help desk. We will help you. And this is what it would look like. The other tab will close automatically and you'll return to the normal window view in the Safari browser. That brings us to the end of today's session. So now I see one hand is already up. I'll go ahead and ask that person to unmute. Carla, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you for the presentation. I was just wondering in terms of it, what you demonstrated today shows that the functionality is more like a laptop than I realized. Because I haven't had, cause to use all of those different features. But I guess the one thing, you said something earlier about Wi-Fi.
Go ahead.
And whenever I turn on this my iPad and get ready to go into one of the Zoom classes, it gives me an option of like 3 choices, like Wi-Fi, internet, and something else. And I always click Wi-Fi. Am I not supposed to click that?
Excellent question. You're supposed to click it.
Okay. All right.
For Zoom.
Okay.
That's a Zoom feature.
Okay,
So
okay,
keep clicking that.
okay, all right.
Very
'cause
good
I wasn't
question.
sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
very good question. Keep clicking
Okay.
that.
Okay, because what
All right.
it seems to do is allows me to connect from anywhere. If I'm in Baltimore visiting my mom, I can
Uh-huh.
still join the class. You know, I'm sitting here now over at near the Costco's in my car, and I'm
Mhm.
in the class. So, you know, so I was hoping it was all right. And then I was thinking, from what you said earlier, does that mean that I'm open to all the public?
No, you're
Whatever.
not. You're still
Okay.
on broadband.
Okay, all righty.
Okay,
Thank you.
very good question. Next question. Anybody? Another question? Oh, whoa, no questions. Wow, I'm getting squat free today. I can exit now.
Okay,
Well,
then
I have-
since nobody else is speaking up, my next
Presentation.
the presentation you just did, is that going to be available where I could just print it out if I wanted to? The PowerPoint?
Print, it's a pretty largeable size if you want me to send, let me see. It's a file, I guess, who's this?
This is
Carla?
Carla.
Let
Carla
me see
Kane.
if I can send it to you.
Okay, okay.
Send PP. All right.
Teresa, I'd like to use it as a point of reference as well. So could you include me?
All right, Deborah.
Thank you for bringing that up, Carl. I appreciate that. I'm trying to take pictures and clips and this and that, so that'll make it
Okay.
easier.
I
Okay.
can put it in my little reference book.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, Carla, I've got that, so I have sent.
Okay, thank
I
you.
see Carolyn Lawson, your hand is up.
Yes, I had that question in the chat, whether or not we would be able to access this session because there's a lot of valuable information. But it's
Exactly.
hard to take notes and digest at the same time.
Of course,
So put
and
my
I
name
do
down
understand.
also.
So that's Carolyn Lawson. Okay, I realize that, and I wouldn't want you to be overwhelmed with it. So that's why I don't normally share my work, but I'll do it in this case.
Thank
Yes,
you.
this is Yvonne
Thank you,
Smith.
Teresa.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
want the PowerPoint also. I put it.
So
I
who
put my
say,
email in the
who's
chat.
that? Yvonne? Okay, I'm
Yeah, I
writing
put
down
mine in
Yvonne.
the chat too. Okay.
Yvonne Smith.
It
I
is kind of
see.
hard because you move kind of fast and you know
Oh,
your
I am
stuff.
so sorry.
But
So,
it's
and
good
this
in the
is,
gonna be? Isn't the video gonna be available later?
yeah, the video, it will be up on the website once we get it uploaded. That's
Okay.
up to Lou. I don't do that
Right.
part. But if
Okay.
you want a copy of these steps that I have, I'd
Yes.
be more than happy. So make sure your hands are up because I'm
Yeah.
writing down the names as I see the
Okay.
hands up
Well,
so that
thank
I will
you.
send them off. Huh?
Teresa, will you send me one, Georgia
Yep, I
Green?
got your name there, Georgia. I do have
Okay,
your
thank
name. I
you.
have Carol. So again, if you want your name on this list, as soon as I finish with this today, I'll go ahead and send it. I see
Okay.
Vic. Vic has wanted it, Marina.
And we'll
Okay.
let you go. We'll let you go now so you can hurry up and do that.
Oh gosh, so yeah. All right. So let me see. Any other names showed up since then? Carol. Okay, I think that's about it. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I'll be sending those when I finish with today's session. Outside of Anne, I see Anne's name is there, Ademisa. Okay. Listra Clement. Okay. All right. Okay, if I see any other hands, I'll add it as I go. Any other concerns before we wrap up today?
Yep.
No?
Nope.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Well, I am not doing tomorrow. We have Bite Back doing their whatever it is they're doing. I will be sending out emails on that to you.
Did you say Bite Back?
Bite Back who's doing their interest group with you tomorrow.
I have no
There's-
idea what that is.
Oh, Bite Back is a vendor that we hire to do certain present resources to you and information. We
Okay,
sometimes bring vendors in to do things like that.
Will that be the same link as this training link?
No, it wouldn't be. So I'm going to, definitely not. I will be sending that out.
Thank you.
I
Thank
will be
you.
sending that out.
Bite Back is very well known. I've known them to be in the community for over 20 years.
Okay, all right. Yvonne, it's nice to hear from you. Yvonne, would you mind giving us a call after this session?
What, at the Wild Tech or where?
Yeah, WildTech, the 800 number, 6868.
Okay, I'll give you a call. I'm on my way to pick up my food at the farmer's market, and I'll call right there.
Well,
Okay.
we appreciate it. Thank you very much, Yvonne.
I don't know what I did wrong, but
No, you're not going to the principal office.
okay, all right.
Oh my God.
I used to be a teacher in high school. Oh my goodness. There are also good things too when you get called up like that, and not all bad things.
And that's what I'm talking.
Okay, so and then on Friday, I don't have anything. I don't have any vendors on Friday. So what I thought I'd do on Friday is do the diabetes session, another session of that, because I have many of them
Okay.
on health. So Friday will be on health, sugar
Okay.
and fat and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 'cause I
Okay.
still have more of those left that I need to present. So tune in on Friday if you want to learn more on your diet and what, how your body functions as far as sugar and fat, things of that nature. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Again, I want to thank you all for being such great fans. Keep up the good work. The most attended individuals will be getting prizes on the first week in April. It wraps up on the end of March, and then the prizes will be awarded the first week of April. Okay.
Okay, thank you. You told us a lot today, and it's like I say,
Yeah, it was
but
too
other
much.
than that, I
Yeah.
can go over some of the things.
Yeah,
that
I know I put in a whole lot, and that's why I'm willing to send it out.
Yeah.
But it was a
Okay.
very good presentation. I
Yeah,
really
very
Well, thank you.
informative. I learned
Yeah.
a lot today.
Okay, I will be getting those emails right out as soon as I hang
Yeah.
up from you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are,
I also would like to second the motion earlier and endorse the Bite Back thing, because they've been around in the community like for over 20 years, I believe.
Yeah.
And trying to bring some equity in, computer and technology for a very long time.
yeah, that's what they're on about. And anybody that wants training in technology, that's the place to go. They do get funding quite a bit from workforce development. If you have any kids or grandkids that needs technology training, Bite Back is where you go to get that at
Yeah.
zero cost, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
At zero cost. Yeah.
Yep.
If you have any grandkids that are just not doing what they they need help, have them go to
Yep.
Bite Back. They'll train them.
Yeah.
I think,
they help
Isaiah,
them
did
learn
you
how
go
to
to Bite Back? I think
Huh?
Isaiah attended Bite Back at some point.
Yeah, for when I went through Project Empowerment, I went there for digital literacy.
See, so
Okay,
there you go.
okay.
Yep.
All
See,
right.
that's what they're known for.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. Okay, then you
right.
all have a wonderful evening, and God bless all of you. And we will hopefully you'll tune in for Bite Back tomorrow, and then on Friday, reversing diabetes.
Thank you.
Right.
All
Thank
right.
you. Have a good
See you
Bye-bye.
guys later.
All right.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'll look for those forms, Isaiah.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.